You'll all know about basil, right? But there's something that I'd say is extremely wonderful about basil. And if you'd like to know more about this innocuous little food, but has quite a bit of role to play in our lives, stick on. So let's have some basic facts about what basil is. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to come into tongue twisting Greek letters and stuff like that. Uh, Scientifically, there's a name for it, and it's Osimum basilicum. Okay. I hope I pronounced that. Uh, or is it basilicum? Yeah, I think I got it right. Okay. But we all know it as basil. You can knock off all those other letters and just take those first five letters, and you got basil. Now, quite a few of the basil plants seem to have originated in India, and especially tulsi has been around for thousands of years. Okay, and it's been used for a very long time. And they believe many of the species have actually originated in India itself, and it went across the world. Now, it has played a very significant role in medicine, in early medicine, where natural cures, of course, they couldn't manufacture drugs in those days, in 3, 4 thousand years ago. So they depended a lot on herbs, and this played a very significant role in early medicine. And it was used in many rituals for a lot of reasons. Holy basil has a very nice smell called tulsi. So the tulsi flower, when it is dry, it has a brilliant aroma. It's quite unique by itself, and it's aromatic, and it grows throughout the year. So it's a very surprising, very sturdy kind of plant to grow. All the versions, which we'll talk about in the next step. Types. Okay. Sweet basil, or typically a lot of people call it Italian basil. Okay. And they put, yeah, you will see it in a lot of food. Uh, Thai basil has got a slightly spicy kick to it. Okay. It's got kind of a subtle difference from your regular it. It's not as sweet. Okay. Then, of course, you've got holy basil, which is called tulsi in India. And this holy basil has a very strong aroma in its flowers, and it's used for a lot of things. Now, there's another thing which you might not be sure about or heard about, this purple basil. Okay. Yeah, there's a kind of a basil because of the components in it is it has a more purplish kind of color. Typically, you don't cook it because when you cook it, it turns black after a while. So they kind of use this in salads as well. So you can toss them in. Of course, whenever you're consuming basil, especially when you're throwing it in salads, please wash them thoroughly. If you want, keep them soaked in water for a little while. You can throw in a little turmeric in the water and wash it. There are many other ways of cleaning it, but just make sure you wash it, shake it out nicely. Because one of the big problems with a lot of salads today is that the leaves are not washed properly. And a lot of manure is used for growing a lot of these plants, spinach, lettuce, and so on and so forth. But the problem is there is a chance of the caniston worm being present on these leaves. And I've known a friend of mine who actually uh, got a problem with the caniston worm. It landed up in his brain and it got calcified. And he never ate any meat. He was only eating salads. And unfortunately, that salad was probably the leaves were not washed properly. There was some mud on it, and it kind of survived through his digestive system and it found its way into the bloodstream and landed up. So always wash your all your vegetables and your leaves if you're not going to cook them, especially. Then of course there is lemon basil, which is a combo of the basil as well as lemon. So it's kind of got a it's like imagine combining sweet basil and lemongrass together. You get a kind of you can imagine what that flavor is going to be like. So that's also available, and you can see a couple of photos of what each of them look like. And I'm sure you've very popular with the one on the lower left corner, which is the sweet basil, which is used in a lot of pestos and Italian sauces. So sweet basil is great with salads and pestos. Okay. Yeah, they're quite used quite often. And it's probably for some, it's an acquired taste. Okay. Initially, you find it a little strange if it's the first time you're eating basil, but you kind of will get a kind of, accustomed to it, as you would say. Now, they're rich in antioxidants. This is something that's really important, especially if you have not overcooked the leaf or burnt it out. There is what we call eugenol in it, which is a very, very strong antioxidant. It's also got vitamin C because vitamin C will prevent oxidation of free radicals. Now, the free radicals come is when your cells break down due to toxins or due to viral or bacterial attack. Uh, the breakdown, what happens is there are toxins floating around, and these free radicals will attach itself to other cells. So, vitamin C is something that will help conquer that and block the toxicity of these free radicals. Now, one thing really important to remember is that it's great for stress relief. Okay. So if you had a tiring, very hammering day, what you can do is take the basil leaves and put them boil, take boiling water, keep it aside, and then throw the leaves in and let it percolate and let it kind of release its uh, release its aroma and flavors and oils, things like that, and consume it. It's a fantastic stress relief. Okay, sometimes they even take basil leaves and they rub them on the temples directly, which is also a good thing to do. It's also good for stress relief. Now, it has a lot of phytochemicals, and this is important for fighting cancers. And like many other things, it's a great digestive aid. Okay, and if you do have, chances of having an upset stomach, then what happens is a digestive aid like this. So, okay, the other thing is what we have is holy basil. Okay, this is called the tulsi leaf. And what's so great about the tulsi leaf is it helps with fevers, cold, reduces stress, it lowers blood lipids. Okay, now there are a lot of lipids that are in your blood, it helps lower that too. It lowers your blood glucose. So this is something that even a person with type 2 diabetes may find is extremely beneficial. Okay. Now, remember when I talk about the tulsi, I know the flower is very aromatic, but we're not talking about the flower of it. We're talking about the leaves. Okay, so just be a little aware that you've got to use the leaves. The flowers uh, have a lot of aroma and they don't have as much of these potent things that are there in the leaves. And they typically say don't eat the flowers. Okay, so just remember that. Now, it helps reduce, it breaks down kidney stones because kidney stones are usually caused because of excess uric acid. Now, not something to be worried about. Sometimes uric acid might be slightly high. It's a genetic kind of a thing. Uh, but it helps reduce uric acid. So you can take the leaves and make a kind of a tea out of it, and you can drink that, and that will help break down a lot of the uric acid. And of course, therefore, your kidney stone also come down. And it's also extremely beneficial for the liver as well. Now, definitely an immunity booster. So if you think that there's something viral going around and there's a cough or a cold or fever going around, might just want to arm yourself with the small kappa of tulsi tea which you make with the leaves. Now, tulsi plant can be grown very easily. It's perennial and it grows. It's extremely sturdy, so you don't have to worry about tending to it too much. Just make sure you don't have very damp soil or flooded soil, but just enough water. And even if there's less water, what happens when you pour the water back, it grows pretty well after that too. So I mean, it's something that you don't have to like get a gardener for. You can just plant it in any small little pot, old empty box that you might have or a pot, uh, some container, and throw in some mud into it and just see if you can, yank off a few stalks of tulsi from somewhere or get the seeds and try and grow it. It's something that is good to have your own, what you say, medicinal garden with you. And I hope that you'd be able to grab your hands and get your hands a little dirty and put them in the soil and grow this for yourself. So if you did like this particular session, don't forget to comment. And if there's any other topic you'd like to know about, don't hesitate to ask, and you can do that in the comments. So thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next session.